Hey, this is Sarah from Playing Outside Together, and today I'm going to teach you how to make hot and spicy Kinpira. Let's start with the sauce. You're going to need some garlic, some ground cayenne pepper, some maple syrup, some soy sauce, some vinegar, and last but not least, some mayonnaise. In the dish with the mayonnaise, I just do this to save some dishes. You're going to grate your garlic. Make sure you get it all in there and off your little grater. I use a cheese grater. I find it helps. And then you're going to add your cayenne pepper. I forgot some in the dish. And then you're going to add your maple syrup. I didn't use the real stuff, and I'm Canadian. I'm so ashamed. And then you're going to add your soy sauce. Next, it goes in the vinegar. Then you can take your whisk. I use my silicone whisk because I can use it in my nonstick pot later, and whisk it up until it looks something like this. Small chunks of mayonnaise are what you're looking for. It'll all dissolve later. So in a small pot, you can add your sauce. See, at this point, all the mayonnaise is dissolved. It's all good. Make sure you get all that sauce in there because it's not a lot of liquid. And then you're going to turn on your heat to medium-high. And then you can add your gravy mix. I just use gravy mix that you add to your drippings to make it a gravy, I guess. Then you're going to whisk it in and make sure there's no clumps that remain. And whisk it in really good. Sometimes I find it takes a little while, but it's worth it. Once it starts to bubble a little bit, you can mix it or whisk it up again so it doesn't stick. And then once it's really boiling, really bubbling, you can find that it thickens up really quickly. And once it's done, it should look something like this. Next, I'm going to teach you how to make the actual Burdock Kinpira. Kinpira is a Japanese style of cooking in which it means sauté and simmer. Kinpira is a traditional Japanese dish. I made my own sauce to just kick it up a notch. Gobo is the Japanese word for burdock taproot. If you want to see how taproot is foraged, you can look in our description for the video for that. So you're going to need some burdock taproot, some carrots, some sesame seed oil, some sesame seeds, some water, some, oh, come on camera, please, some soy sauce, and some honey. All the information will be in the description below on how to make this. To a wok or a large frying pan, I'm using my wok in this case, you can add your sesame seed oil. I turn the heat up to about medium-high for this, more so high than medium-high. Then you can add your sesame seeds. Add your burdock. I find if you aren't going to use your burdock right away, it's best to store them in water so they don't go brown like potatoes do. And browning is actually caused by melanin, which is the same stuff in your skin that causes you to get a tan. Next, you can add your carrots and mix it all together, like so. Make sure the carrots are evenly dispersed throughout the burdock, otherwise it's not as good, I'm not even gonna lie. The burdock itself is really good and has a lot of health benefits, which are absolutely amazing. I found out that it's an anti-inflammatory and helps with arthritic pain and arthritic conditions. It is a anti-cancer agent. I had no idea. I didn't even know those existed. It's also a diuretic, so it means it helps promote kidney health. It's also a lymphatic system strengthener, which I don't even know. And it also has a lot of, vitamin A and essential fatty acids, which are really good for your scalp and hair. It prevents dandruff, it prevents itchy scalp, it prevents redness and scalp infection. Talking about itchy scalp has mine itching. So you can saute this for about 3 to 4 minutes or until the burdock has all changed color. It usually turns this like grayish color. It's perfectly fine. It just means that they're actually cooking and you've actually managed to cook some of the starch out of it. It is like a potato in the sense that it's a root tuber, but it's more like a carrot in its taste. My dog just likes walking back and forth. What can I say? So once it is cooked completely, it'll look something along the lines of this. Again, all the exact recipe instructions and amounts will be in the description below. Once it's cooked, you should push it. Make sure you always push your stuff down in the middle to your wok. It'll just make it cook better. All the heat's down near the bottom, right? So once it's cooked, it should look something like this. The burdock should become a little bit flimsy along with the carrots. It just gives it a better texture once you're done cooking it completely, I guess. It does have a good crunch to it. Once it's done sauteing, it should look like this. You can add your cup of water, mix it all down and into the water. Once it starts to boil, like this, you can add your lid, turn the heat back down, and let it simmer for about 15 minutes. You can walk away and come back, that's fine. It doesn't need to be babysat. You should leave the lid on it anyways. Next, you can add your spicy sauce that we've already made and set aside. After you add your spicy sauce, you can mix together your soy sauce and honey. It just makes it easier for the honey to get out of your dish. And then you can add that to the wok as well. Make sure you get it all out and don't use a broken cup like I did. There's a crack in that cup and I didn't even notice until the end of this. So you can mix everything up until the lumps of that spicy sauce, as I so affectionately call it, are all broken up and into the liquid. Then you can turn your heat back up to high and let all the liquid boil down or into the burdock or carrots. Make sure you get everything down again. Once it starts to boil, make sure you mix it so it doesn't stick to the bottom. I know it's supposed to be a non-stick wok, but hey, if it's too hot, it's gonna burn to the bottom. It's what happens. Sorry about the focusing camera problem. It's just because my camera doesn't like the indoors, I find. So once it's done and boiled down, it should look something similar to this. Don't mind me, just trying to be fancy after my boyfriend said something. Well, that's hot and spicy Kinpira. If you liked what you saw, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when our next video is out. Also, any little thing helps. Our Patreon link is in our description. We're just starting out on our YouTube adventure, so anything helps. If you want to see how this burdock root is foraged, the link for that is also in the description. If you want to see something else, please let us know in the comments down below, and make sure to give it a thumbs up. Get outside and stay safe.